Okay. Okay. Whoop. Gonna work on that bottom, the piece that runs along the Napoleon's hat. I cut it a little long. I think it needs to be like 14 inches. I cut it 15. I cut it a little wide, and it's a good thing because somehow, leaning against the wall, got it a little crooked. So, drew a new line. I'll get that trimmed up right. Then got to put a 45 on the lip. And then try out the shrinker stretcher. And see if I can't get that going along Napoleon's hat. Alrighty. Okay, same thing as yesterday. I think I gotta get her up a little bit. I'm a little low. Yeah, get her in the vise just right and tappy tappy. Okay. There's some threaded holes underneath here. If you had a table or something to mount that to, I should probably make a plate that I can bolt to it, put in the vise. Maybe a piece of angle iron. Take a piece of angle iron, drill out the two holes, and then I can put the other end right in the vise. I really wasn't planning, so this is what I'm doing right now. I've never used one of these things. There's my piece I'm going to play with. I mean, if it turns out totally wrong, it's not that big of a chunk of metal I'm messing with. And there's the other piece. So I take it, you loosen these screws up. And this is supposed to come out. It probably has some paint or something. It don't want to move. I'll take a hammer and give her a couple taps. Yeah. Play with my new toy. Yeah, she had a little bit of paint. I just tapped it a little bit. It come loose. Because I'm pretty sure I need the stretcher to make the curve I want. The only problem I see so far is these dies fall right out. So I gotta figure out a way to not lose those. Okay, I figured out that I put too much lip on that, so cut it off to where it fits on the frame. Except for while trying to figure out this piece, my measurements are off on that front piece. That bottom doesn't come over enough. Something's throwing it out of focus. So yeah, all that bending I did last night, I need to make this piece fit Napoleon's hat. And then I'm going to have to remake the bottom of that panel to fit this. One step forward, two steps back. I measured something wrong. Oh well, it's only metal. It can all get fixed. Okay, I figured out about where those holes go. They're not perfect. I punched holes with the drill, and I had to go fire up the van compressor out there to run my die grinder to grind them out. It's getting dark and it's cold out there, and they're not quite perfect, but I tried them, and it goes over the holes pretty freaking good. I just want to say I have mad respects for fabricators. you gotta think 500 steps ahead of what you're working on. I'm an auto mechanic, and I've rebuilt some crazy transmissions, and yeah, you gotta think ahead, but you know what the end parts look like. As a fabricator, you don't know what it's gonna end up with until you get there, and you have to be ahead of the game to do it. So I'm hoping I have it long enough. If not, it'll be a template for the next one. So yeah, there's my 2 holes. Now I gotta figure out, rough guess, it was about 5 inches and it starts bending up. So that's what I gotta figure out now. Exactly where to start bending this up so it'll sit on that Napoleon hat. Once it bends up, it's a pretty straight. So it's not crazy. It's just getting the right distance. And then once this is in the car, hoping the heck I got it in the right place when I bolt it onto the frame. But I'm getting there. Alright, let me try and figure out for sure if it's 5 inches. And then I'll set up that stretcher because it's got to stretch to go up. So we got to stretch that lip to make it go up in the air. So yeah. Let me try and figure this out. Alrighty. There's my holes. It's about 5 inches in. I have never used one of these things before, so I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know if I should mark the center of that. I'm not sure what it's going to do. I don't know. Things get too crazy, I guess I can buy the front panel for this thing. But I think I'm close, so I really want to try and finish it up, even though I'm pretty sure I have to redo the bottom lip on that other piece. The rest of it fits in there really nice, so I don't know. I think I'm off to the one side a little too much. I'll get that centered in there and start cranking on it, see what it does. That's 5 inches. I figured out that with those holes in the frame, 5 inches over is where it bends up. It does a pretty good bend. So, see if I can't do this. Holy shit, it does work. I have to build a base for this to lock into the vise or something to put it on because you got to put some pressure on it. But it's working. I don't know. I can't do this one-handed. Come on. That's crazy. That's metal magic. I'll go put her on the I'll go put her on Napoleon's hat and see how close we are. That's nuts. Well, I don't know if that's beginner's luck or what, but those holes line up with the frame, and that bends up. It doesn't quite bend the other side, so it's a little twisted. I think if I get this side to match that side and get that square, that's it. Then I get to go and put it underneath the car and see how bad I messed up that other panel. The good with the bad, right? Okay, that dolly had pretty much the exact same shape as this. So I used it to square this out and then did a little twist to get this straight. And I've got a little bit too much bend in it. I put it on the car, and if you are on the Napoleon hat, if you push down this way, that side's up about a 1/4 inch, and if you push on that, that side's up about a 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch ain't much. So I'm gonna have to take the shrinker and pull that a little bit, which will help me with the rest of this. And then it should be perfect. I think if I shrink that just a little bit, it'll be right where it needs to be. Like I said, those holes line right up with the Napoleon hat. That bend lines right up. It just has a smidgen too much bend in it. But that dolly there isn't round, it's more peaked. That was one of the ones that came in the kit. And it was the right size. I mean, it was exactly the bend. So I was able to tap along and get this side like that one. So I gotta set up that thing and put the shrinker in it and pull it back just a smidgen bit. Last night before I cut and bent that panel up, this is what I should have been working on. Should have had this up in the car, that way I could put that on and make sure I had the right, put that one on and make sure I had the right angles. Somehow I messed up, but we'll find out how bad I messed up in a second. Alright guys, I put the shrinker in. Definitely got to make a base for this. I cannot keep this in the vise like this. It barely does it. I need to come up with, like I said, there's threaded holes underneath here. So I need to make something that locks in the vise, or that I can have on the floor. It needs to be locked in. It works pretty good though. Once I broke the paint loose, the bits come out pretty easy. Just loosen the 4 screws and this comes out, next one comes in, just some pieces fall out. So storage would be the only problem. So I put her in the shrinker, hit her 3 times, and it put it right on to the frame. Those holes line up. It sits on Napoleon's hat just right. That's the shape that piece needs to be. So I really hate to know how bad I messed up, but I guess we might as well find out together. And yeah. I hasn't acted up at all today. Acted up once last night. I took the lid off of it, made sure everything was okay, fired it back up. It worked all last night. It's been working all day today. Not really sure. I might get some kerosene. There's some guy that puts 25% kerosene in his diesel, It runs a lot hotter, but I put the kerosene in it so that maybe it'll clean. Maybe the sensor's getting a little gummed up. Something's getting a little gummed up inside. Yeah, there she is. And man, that's how much I messed up. So yeah. Yep, there's the spot, I think. Yep, right there's the spot. It's not quite tight up there because of the clamp. But that's a hell of a gap down there. That's where the panel should have been. Oh man, I messed that up bad. Well, there's going to be a tear in my beard tonight. I know exactly where it went bad. I didn't measure over enough from here to here before I went up. Totally missed that the lip was dropping faster than that point. It had to come out and then up. So I got a huge gap. So yeah. Well, it is what it is. It's only metal, right? So, I guess straighten that lip back out again and put that piece in. And then match the lip up to that piece. And it should be good. Man, I double and triple thought that whole freaking process and I completely messed up. Anyways, I'll work on fixing it. I'll talk to you guys later.